Is my screen visible to you all?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So guys, we have covered this topic, EC2 instance and compute cloud. This is just a virtual compute capacity that we are renting over the cloud. Okay. And then we saw different options EC2 comes in: on demand, reserve, spot, and dedicated. We know for on demand, we only pay for the services we are using right now, and the number of services depend on the demand. And for the reserve, we we have a particular need and we want to reserve some EC2 instances for that particular need for 1 year to 3 years, the duration. And this kind of option is reserved EC2 option. And then there is a bidding system also. If we want to acquire some EC2 services and we okay, we want to acquire some EC2 services and there is no fixed pricing, then what will we do? We will bid on it. And if both the parties agree, we can get the EC2 instances. Okay, we will see each and every one of them in detail. So if things are not clear yet, don't worry. Just okay. On demand, user that want the low cost and flexibility of Amazon EC2 without any upfront payment and long-term commitment. Application with short-term spiky or unpredictable workload that cannot be interrupted. So if we have some flexible demand and our demand of services and resources kept increasing and kept changing, it may increase, it may decrease according to time, then going with the on-demand EC2 option is best for us, because in the moment of increased demand, in the moment when we want more EC2 instances, according to our demand, we can increase the number of EC2. So that's why this is the best option for us. And if the requirement goes down, we can simply just release the EC2 instance from our holding. And now we are not paying for any other services. We are only paying for what we are used. Application with short term and spiky and predictable workload. So any application that has unpredictable workload, that means that workload can go up and workload can go down. It doesn't have any certain number of workload. So in this scenario, we will go with the on-demand application being developed or tested on Amazon EC2 for the first time. So let's say we are now developing a brand new application and we want to deploy that to our customer. So before deploying that customer, before launching that application into the public market, what we will do, we will deploy that into the EC2 environment. Okay. So because this is our first time application, we don't know how will public will react and how will public will encourage the application. So we doesn't have any fixed demand on this application. That's why going with on demand EC2 instances will be very good for us, because we don't have any prior data on the working of this application. A new billing cycle start whenever an instance change to running state. So whenever your instance shows that it's in the running state, billing cycle will continue. Coming on to the another option, we have reserved. Application with steady state or predictable uses. So in our company, we are using some particular application and one of them is very predictable. What is predictability means that whatever the flow of data and the data that application engaged in is very predictable, and we know how many uh, what is the data flow in and out will be going to look like. So this application, let's say we have one application and within a day only thousand user visit our web server. Let's say we have an application and that application have a web page, and we are now deploying a EC2, and for our web server, we want that our web server will our web server should be up and running for whole year, for 24 into 7 time duration. So what will we do? We will reserve some EC2 instances for 1 year of duration. That's why our website will not for, face any hamper and will not face any lack of data delivery. You can resell on Amazon AWS if you choose not to use. Let's say we have reserved some EC2 instances. Take example, we have reserved 5 EC2 instances, but for now we are only using 3, and 2 reserve EC2 instances are not in use. So it means that we are wasting resources. Rather than wasting the resources, what option we have? We can resell our AWS services which we are not using right now. Okay, is it clear, guys? User able to make upfront
Resell to whom?
I'm sorry, you are asking like whom we can resell.
Yeah, yeah, we can resell on AWS to other customers.
Okay, there's a proper way of reselling your AWS services. So when we will be in lab, I will show you where the things like this you can do, like reselling and acquiring the resources. So you can sell it to other vendors and you can sell it back to the Amazon itself.
Okay.
Yes. There's an option of Amazon Marketplace. We can download other vendors OSs and other application from different vendors. Over there we can also sell our applications, but there's a lot of process we have to go through with. Okay, when we have a limited uses, when we are not using some particular reserved resources, but Amazon provide us a ability to resell them, and for to like to agree on what to resell and to whom to resell, there is a proper process we need to follow. Okay, but for now we have to focus that we are able to resell our AWS resources. So in case if we somehow reserve the wrong amount of instances, we don't have that much of utility of those instances. We have reserved 10 instances, but for our work 5 are enough. So rather than wasting those other 5, we can resell them because Amazon provides us the option. Now, when we are reserving the instances for our limited time period, what we can do, we can provide upfront payment. When we are giving upfront payment, we get the discounts also. So there are different types of discount. Standard reserved instances. So when you pay upfront for standard reserved instances, you can get the discount up to 75%. So this is the discount pattern. It change according to need and it change according to the version we are using. So convertible RIs up to 54 and scheduled RI, they also have their own set of discount. So these are in these discount pattern, it change every yearly basis. So it is better to check the discount on the website of AWS itself. Now coming to the spot instances, application that has flexible start and end time, unused capacity at AWS is given in the market for bidding. So in AWS marketplace, there is some okay, you can see over here unused capacity. Maybe AWS is providing unused resources. Maybe some other vendor is also providing their unused resources. We can bid for those resources. Okay. So for what kind of workload we generally go with the spot instances, which doesn't have any flexible start or end time. It doesn't matter if my web page is running all the time, but I just want it to be run some particular time. Maybe like, okay, it has the flexible start and end time. It doesn't have to be up and running for all the time. Okay. Application with flexible time may use these instances by the method of bidding. Look at the prices. This is now it is explaining the process of bidding. We look at the pricing history, then decide what price we want to bid, and in the notice of 2 minutes, let's say we have certain set of services we want to buy, and we bid $15 per hour. Now the bid is accepted, and we have purchased the services for $15 per hour rate. But within 2 minutes, another bidder came and he quoted the pricing of $17 per hour. What will happen? Our services will got terminate, and they will be assigned to the new bidder who is placing the highest bid. In case of termination, if AWS our will not be generated. Okay. Dedicated dedicated EC2 instances. These are the useful for regulatory requirement that may not be supported. Support multi-tenant virtualization. Great for licensing, which doesn't support multi-tenancy or cloud deployment. So dedicated EC2 instances, they are dedicated for a single purpose, and we can purchase them on demand on demand for hourly basis. Reservation is up to 70% of on demand price. Pay for full physical host irrespective for number of instance running. Suitable when you want to use hardware bound license. Mainly we will be dealing on demand instance in this course, and this is the most common one also that is used in the companies and organization. So dedicated we might not see, because these are the dedicated instances that are specifically fixed for some particular uses, and according to the company organization you can purchase them on demand basis. So let's see difference in different instance type. There are many families in the instant tree, EC2 family tree. So different time, D2, R4, M4, C4, G2, I2, F1, T2, P2, X1. If you guys can recall, we when we were configuring our Windows instance yesterday, we chosen the T2 micro instance type, right? As you can see, what is the speciality of T2 micro? Lowest cost, general purpose. So general purpose, like for doing the general work, like a normal computer, a normal PC. So they have lowest cost in this spectrum. And for doing any general work and for setting up the workstation, going with the T2 tire is very suitable. If we have the requirement of dense storage, if we have, if we want to store data, dense data, then which type of instance we will choose? D2. If we want to perform memory optimization task on our data, then going with the R4 will be better for us because it can do memory intensive tasks. General purpose M4, general purpose compute optimize C4. If we have a large compute requirement, then going with these C4 EC2 instances will be better for us. If we have some application that runs on graphic intensive programs, then going with the G2 C is better for us because video encoding, 3D application streaming will be running in a good quality because these EC2 instances are more focuses on graphical. These EC2 instances are graphic intensive. They are more focused on graphic. So anything related with graphic, we know which option we have to choose. High speed storage. If we have, if we want to deliver our data, our store data on a high speed, and this T2, this I2 tire is the option we should select. F1 field programmable gate array. So field programmable gate array, when we were programming a gate array for our hardware so that we can, manage the work for that hardware. Now we are able to program that hardware. So if we are creating some kind of gate array, then going with the F1 tire will be very suitable if we are programming the gate array. Then T2, which we are using right now, P2 is graphic general purpose GPU, X1 memory optimized. So R4 is also memory optimized, X1 is also memory optimized, but the use case are totally different. X1 we can use that in Apache Spark, in Apache Server, because we can utilize the memory optimized speciality. Any doubt till now, guys?
Who actually takes the decision, or does it come as a requirement to us to build so and so type of instance?
Okay, the requirement will come to you if like you are the cloud engineer in a company, then the company will come to you with the requirement. Let's say they are, developing a new sales team, maybe they are deploying a new marketing team and they want to adopt cloud and infrastructure. Then you have to suggest, like if they are the market personnel, then they don't need any high memory optimization EC2. They just go with the general purpose. But if we are working with the programmers, if we want to deploy the work environment for our programmer and our DevOps team, then we should go with the other type of EC2 instances. Like maybe if we are working on some graphical games, then G2 will be better for us because when we will be running our code, we need some graphic intensive instances that will be able to run our code because we are working on the 3D games. So it depends on the company's requirement. If company wants to deploy some low cost server, some low cost instances, then you will suggest them go with the T2 tier. But company wants to deploy a proper web server, and they want to create a proper website, and now their website is dealing in heavy loads of data. There are lots of data is going in and out. Then you will suggest them I2 because it has high speed data storage capacity. So data will be shared on high speed. So it you have the specialities, then you get the requirement from your organization, then you will like mix and match which one is the better for you. There are different use cases also. You can identify like the situation you are in right now, which use case is very familiar to your situation, then you can go according to that speciality and that use case. Okay,
Thank you.
welcome. Now okay, let's go on to our lab. We will do lab today. I am logging in into my AWS console. And guys, one thing I want to make sure that each and every one of you delete your instances before logging out, because they are the chargeable these are the chargeable services, and I don't want you to run up your time 7:30 7:50 sometime 7:30 7:50 so time you get in your free tire account. So don't lose it all. Don't left your instances running. When you are logging out, make sure that you stop your instance, and better off you delete them. Okay. Okay, so everyone, we configured a window instance yesterday, and right now you can see I have a Amazon instance running, a Linux one. Let's see how we can create a Linux, and I will be creating the Windows instance again. So keep an eye on it. Okay. If we, I want to, let's just create other. I will show you the whole process. Now go on to the launch instance. Whatever name you want to give your EC2 device, you can give it. We are creating a Windows one. So I will name it Win 1010. Okay. Then I will select the Windows OS from this. Afterward, there are different images available. We discussed this yesterday in the previous class. You can check them out while creating the instances for yourself. Okay, there are many free tier eligible AMIs. Use them. Okay, then key pair. This is a very important step in this process. So key pair login is when we will be login in our EC2 instance. We required a RSA key to do SSH. So I have created this one in the previous class. Rather, if I want, I can select this one, or I can create a new pair also. So let's create a new pair with a for our window 1010. I am naming it the same window 1010. We can get the prem key for SSH and .ppk for putty. It is a window. We will not use putty for it. So that's why we will get the PEM key. Now network settings, we will see them on a different day. Now just go with the default and launch your instance. Now you can see there's another instance we have Win1010 and it's in the pending state. Let's launch another instance for Amazon. First, let's delete this one action we want to perform. We have selected this one, and now we will go to the instance state. We want this one is right now. You can check the state from this section. Instance state, it is in running state. If I want to reboot, I can reboot it, but I want it to be terminated. So I will choose terminated. It is showing me if I delete this instance, every file I have saved in this EBS, which is our block storage, whatever I have stored in this EC2 instance will be deleted also. So let's go and terminate this one because I haven't stored any data in it yet. So let's launch our Amazon instance right now. Our window instance is running. Okay, I will name it Linux. Amazon Linux. We will select this option. Now all things are the same. If you want to create a new KRP, you can create a new key, but I will be using the window 1010 because I have just generated this one. Okay, so all of you can create new KRP from here, but I am using the previous one.
So Windows and Linux, same key would work, or we can we need to use a PPK for Linux.
Okay, over here we are mentioning that this is the key we want to use. So same key will work because we are mentioning it.
Okay.
Okay. Now you can see I am creating this instance. So what it means that I am the owner. So while creating the instance, whatever the configuration I will made in it, they will come with it. So if I configure this instance in such a way that I don't want any SSH traffic to come in, then I can configure it in it this particular way. How can I configure it? I can use the rules. I can apply rules over here. You can see launch wizard is the uh, group security group we are part of. We can make changes. So while making the instance, whatever configuration you provided, it will come with that. So keep it. We it is asking for a key. We have given it a key. It doesn't matter if we want to generate new, we can generate new. But for both of them, this key will work because I am mentioning it right now. Okay, now coming to the storage. Now we will configure storage. Let's take, we can only take up to, uh, okay, 8 GB is the minimum size of EBS, but we have seen that in Windows case, 30 GB is the minimum size. So in the case of Linux, 8 is the minimum. Let's increase it up to 10 and we will continue this launch instances. Okay, now we have two running instances in our dashboard. So let's see what we can do with them. Okay, Now I am selecting this Linux. We have already seen how we can get the remote control over our Windows instance in the previous lecture. Now I will be showing you how to do it same for the Linux. Okay. So first we will be selecting the Linux instance. Then we will go on to the option connect. We have different methods to connect. We can use session manager, we can use SSH client putty, we can use EC2 serial console. So we will use the easiest method, that is the EC2 instance connect. Okay. Now we don't have to do anything here. We don't even have to provide our RSA key. We can just simply go and connect with our instance onto the web console. We are in our Linux machine, guys. Let's see if it's pinging, if it's working or not. You can see it's pinging, it's working right now. So this is one way to go into your Amazon instance, and other ways are also there. You can use putty by SSH client. You can do putty over here. So try it out by yourself, guys. I have shown you one way. If other, you can try other ways yourself. If you find any difficulty, you can mention it to me. Now, do you want me to show you for Windows also how to connect with the window instance, because we have done it yesterday.
Just a glance.
Okay. Select the instance you want to connect with, then just only go to the option. That is the first most option you will see. Then there are many ways to connect. Over here we are seeing three. Best way is the using RDP client. You can simply just download the desktop file, or you can use the RDP to connect with the public DNS. Let's firstly download the desktop file and see. It's done. Now it's open. Now it's asking for the password. Did I have generated the password? No, not yet. So I have to get password from here. How will I get the password? I will upload the private key which I have generated, which is the Windows 10 perm key. Now after opening it up over here, I will decrypt the password. So you can see, first you can download your, we are in the connect to instance window and we are connecting through a RDP cloud, and we have just downloaded the RDP file. Now we want the password. So how can we get the password? Earlier it was encrypted, but once I give it my perm file, the key file, which is window 1010, I have generated while creating this instance, I get the password. Okay. Now password is encrypted. I have decrypted it. Now I will mention the decrypted password in it. And now I'm in the Windows EC2. My window instance is working properly. It's taking some time. Okay. So this is very basic thing. I believe every one of you can do it. Screen zoom. It's working, guys. Okay. Both of our instances, they are working. We have seen how we can launch an instance. We have seen how we can terminate our instance. Now we will see how we can add storage in them, how we can add volume. So over here, let's check, do we have any volume? Yes, we have two volume. Okay, guys, you can see these two volume belong to the instances we have just created. 30 GB belongs to the Windows instance we have created, and 10 GB belongs to the Linux instance we have just created. So these are the volumes, but they are also the root volume. Why the root volume? Because if I delete my instance, my volume will be deleted by itself. Okay, these two are the root volumes. If I want to add more volume and more block storage, what will I do? We have covered the instance type. Let's come to the EBS. What is EBS? Elastic block storage. What is EBS? Elastic block storage. Store. Okay, we have two EBS. Let's find out what is it. EBS is a block level storage. Amazon EBS allows you to create storage volume and attach them to Amazon EC2 instances. So if we want to attach more volume and more storage to increase the capacity and compute, what we can do? We priorly we have root storage. Now what else we can do? We can add other volume, other EBS. Okay, if I want to attach 10 gigabytes more into my window, then I will create a 10 gigabyte volume and I will attach it to my window instance. Okay. Once attached, you can create a file system on the top of this volume, run a database, or use them in another way. You would like to use a block device. Okay. So block device, it is just a type of storage. EBC, it is just a type of storage, nothing else. We can make use of EBS in a way of database. We can use to do many other work. Amazon EBS volume are placed in specific availability zones where they are automatically replicated to protect you from failure of single component. So Amazon is making replica of your volume. If you somehow lose the volume from your one availability zone, or maybe uh, you have to remember that you are not deleting your volume. You are not deleting the volume. You are not able to access them. So because a replica is present on the another availability zone, you can access that replica. Okay. So replica is made by the Amazon in the different availability zones. So if somehow we are facing high latency from one availability zone, we can switch it and download the replica. Elastic volume is a feature of Amazon EBS that allows you to dynamically. So you can increase, let's say by the night you get an order to work on a data store, and you have lots of data immediately, because now you are working on another kind of project, and the project is dealing with lots of data. Rather than buying more computer, you can buy more storage immediately over the cloud, and you can store all the data into the cloud. Okay. EBS volume categories. There are categories of volume. Amazon EBS provide a range of options that allows you to optimize storage performance and cost for your workload. These options are divided into two major categories: SSD backend volume, HDD backend volume. We are all aware about SSD hard disk. So very similar concept, but they are working on cloud environment, and Amazon is Amazon developed all this phenomena. That's why the name are different, but the working is same. Okay. SSD block storage stored of transitional workloads such as databases and boot volume. Performance depend primarily on IOPS. Okay. Input output performance. HSD backend volume, backed storage for the throughput intensive workload. If you want more throughput, then you will go with the HSD, and if you want more transitional power, then you will go with the SSD. Okay. EBS volume type. There are different EBS volume type: general purpose, provisional, throughput, cold, magnetic, standard. Let's see what are the different types. General purpose SSD. GB2 is a default EBS volume type of Amazon EC2 instances. So this one is the default one. GP2 volume are backed up by solid state drive. So you can see behind the scene they are backed up by the SSDs, general purpose balance both price and performance. So if we are taking general purpose SSD EC2 instance, what it means that we will get good performance at a good price. Okay, convenient performance at a convenient price. Ratio of input output throughput is 3 per GB with up to 10,000 boot volume, low latency, interactive apps, dev and test. Volume size 1 GB. Over here you can see the volume size. Maximum IOPS and volume is 10,000. So input output operation and price is also mentioned here. Maximum input output operation is 10,000. So if your requirement, if you are setting up such instance face that will face up to 10,000 input output processor, uh, input output operations up to 10,000, that you can go with the general purpose. And if your operations demand will increase from 10,000 to, let's say, 15,000, then you have to move on to the another EC2 instance. You cannot use general purpose SSD because they will not be able to support the processes, support the operation. Getting it, guys? One of you asked how we will decide or how the decision will be made, what kind of instance or service need to be deployed. So you can see these are some few ways you can understand what is the best deployment for your organization. If you have input output operation need, the number is below 1000, then going with the general purpose SSD is very good for our organization. Okay. Provision IOPS SSDs. These volume are ideal for both IOPS intensive throughput intensive workload that required extremely low latency. So if we are doing high performance, if we are dealing with high performance application, if we are working with the high performance application and we generate lots of throughput every day, what it means that we required a provisioned SSD EC2 instance. We cannot use general purpose. We only use provisioned, designed for input output intensive application such as large regional or no SQL database. So my SQL databases, if we are setting up databases, this particular EC2 instance is very good for the performance. Can can provision up to 32,000 IOPS per volume. Input output operation per volume. Okay, 32,000. In the previous option, we were getting 10,000 IOPS only. Price is little bit higher, but providing a lot. Throughput optimizing HSG. If we have the requirement of high throughput, then we can go with this HHD. ST1 is backed up by hard disk and it is ideal for frequently accessed throughput intense workload with large data set. Okay, if we have requirement of if we are dealing with large data set and intensive workload, then we can utilize throughput optimize HSD EC2 instance. ST1 volume deliver performance in terms of throughput measured in MB. Big data, data warehouse, log processing. These are some example. Cannot be a boot volume. It cannot be used as a boot volume. Okay. Can provision up to 500. You can see how low the number is, but we are using it for the throughput, not for the transmission. Volume size 500 GB to 16 TB. Price, these are very low prices. Cold HHD. It is another type of hard disk, another storage type which is backed by the hard disk and provide the lowest cost G per GB of all ESB EBS type. Lowest cost storage for infrequent access workload. So if there is some particular data that we are not accessing it on a regular basis, but due to our requirement, we need to maintain that data. Maybe let's say we want to make the balance sheet, financial balance sheet in the end of the year. So if we want to make that balance sheet, what we require that make we manage and we mention each and every expenses we had in that particular year. Okay, we calculate our balance sheet from expenditures and from the income we received. So we have to store each expenditure and each income source we had all throughout the year to make the final balance sheet. That's why it is necessary. If we are not accessing these data throughout the year, we are only accessing it on the end of the year. We are only making the balance sheet on the end of the year. So that's kind of workload which are very infrequent. File server, okay, we have seen this. Magnetic standard, lowest cost per gigabit for of ESB volume, that is bootable. So non-bootable volume, cold HSD has the lowest cost, but the bootable volume in the spectrum of bootable volume, magnetic has the lowest cost. Okay, magnetic volume are ideal for workload where data is accessible instantly, application where the lowest storage cost is important. So if we have a little storage and we are also want to make the cost low, we can go with the magnetic one. Any doubt till now, guys? We have seen different types of EBS. Now we will configure EBS. Before going to the lab and configuring EBS, please let me know if any of you have any doubt in any of the topic.
Just in terms of the certification purpose,
Mm-hmm.
The questions will be on these topics by any means, or like they will ask what is a specific type of EBS, something like that.
Okay. Uh, Amazon have a very big pool of questions, so it is very hard to say exactly what will what they will ask. But you can download the spectrum. They have the whole domain by wise division, like how much this domain is valuable in the exam, like what percentage it is making of that exam. So if you download that, so that will help you out to create your best certification plan, that how much time you want to give to any topic. So
Okay.
for someone it is important, you might not get a very simplistic question like what is cold HHD or explain different type. You will not get these kind of question, but it is an important topic because you have to understand, because when you are deploying a virtual machine, when you are, let's say you are buying a computer for yourself, if you don't know what kind of computer you want, how can you buy it? And even if you buy it, it will be waste of resources, maybe financial resources and also computational resources. That's why these are the basic topic that is needed to be clear. If you are working in a company, then you will look into the needs of the company, then buy the cloud resources according to that need. So only if you are familiar with the different categories and with different services, then you can make these kind of decision.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay. Thank you.
thank you. So let's move on to the lab, and let's create some volume. You can see we already have 30 GB and 10 GB. These are the root volume. Root volume means what are our instances which we have just created. We have two running instances in the moment. One is our Linux and one is for our Windows. So let's see in our Linux, what are the details in our Linux. Instance ID, we have this instance ID, we have this public IPv4, this public IPv4 address, and this is our private IPv4 address. Instance state isn't running. So storage, let's go into the storage. Volume ID. We have this volume attached to our instance, and this is the root volume. Okay. No volume is here right now. So let's create. We will go to the create volume. If you want to create general purpose SSD volume, you can use, but I will be create using another one because the root volume is also general purpose SSD. So now create a different volume type, which is magnetic. So 100 is a lot. I will take 10. IOPS information. So you can check out this tab. This will give you a lot of information about your devices and about the instances. We have just covered this, but this tab will give you a refresh. So when you are practicing, don't miss it. Just give it a thorough read. You will understand more. Okay. Availability zone. Now, guys, it is very important for you to choose the right availability zone. If you won't choose the right availability zone, your volume will not get attached. Okay. Okay. Yes, yes, yes. By root volume, we mean the number of gigabits we acquired while setting up the instances. So let's go back to our EC2 and to our instance. We will be attaching volume to our window 10. Now let's check out what is the availability zone for this instance.
AP South.
AP South. Okay. It was A1.
Miss that.
Okay. Let's create a first one is in the A1. If it's the wrong one, then we will check it out. Now let's just create the volume. Now you can see we have another volume. There is no mention of IOPS because I didn't mention anything there. This is the standard magnetic. That's why this is the standard. It's in the creation state. So from here you can also give name to this volume. You can say it volume 1. And these are the okay. So this one is the root volume for Linux. So I will name it root volume Linux. Save. And this one is for Windows. So this one is also root volume. Save. And this is the volume we have created. Now select this one and I want to perform an action on it. What action I want to perform? I want to attach this particular volume, but I am not able to attach because there is no availability zone present in this volume. If what
No,
is the
that was there.
uses of creating Mhm. What are you saying?
Availability zone was availability zone was given there.
Yes, availability zone is given for this instances. We have created 2 instances.
For volume also. New volume you created.
Yes, yes, this is a type of storage. So obviously there will be a availability zone, but if I want to attach this volume into any of my root volume, then I need the same availability zone. Let me explain it.
For all the three, it is 1A. AP South 1A.
No, let me just explain what I want to say. If we have created this one instance, which is Windows, and another instance, which is in Linux, and we have created this volume. If I want to attach this volume to my window, or let's say I want to attach this to my Linux, it depends on me, on my choice. If I want to attach it on window, what I required that both my window and my volume is present on the same availability zone. And if I want to attach it to my Linux, it has also be available on the same zone. If both of them are present in 2 different available zone, then they will not get attached. When below the other edition, one of the sound does it need to be? Yes, they do need to be in the same availability zone. If they are not in the same availability zone, then they will not get attached. Okay, let me check for our Windows what availability zone we are in.
If you scroll to the right on the list of volumes. If you scroll to the right in the list of volumes, can see.
No, I want to check the side of this particular instance. I want to attach the volume to Windows. That's why I'm checking the over here. You can see this is the availability zone of my window instance A1. So if my volume is deployed on A1, then I'm able to attach it. If it's not on the A1, then I cannot attach this volume. Then I have to create the another volume on A1. You can see it is also on A1. So let's attach. No, it's not.
Maybe we need to attach from root to volume one reverse.
I don't think so. Okay, I just needed to refresh it. That's it. Now I can see there's a, after selecting my volume, I can see the attach option over here. Okay, so volume ID is here, availability zone is here, instance. Which instance you guys want me to connect this? Windows will be fine. Let's connect this to the Windows. Device name, if you want to give it any device name. Okay, there's a recommendation given. Guys, whenever you are configuring your any tool, if you are configuring any tool, just make sure that you are reading these small descriptions that are given below, because it will help you out to do the proper configuration. Okay, so over here it also showing that in the case of Windows XVD, if we use XDVD, that so rather than changing it, let's go with the default because it might cause any problem. Hmm, successfully attach. Now let's see our window. If we go to our Windows desktop and check my files, so you can see right now this PC, I only have one disk, which is 30 GB, but I have just attached another block storage in it. Why it is not showing? Because we also have to configure that storage from here also. So don't worry, let's do. Feedbacks. Is it disabled? No, not because of high latency. Actually, when we are making, if I want to attach a particular volume in my particular instance, then what it means that this volume will be becoming a physical part of this workstation. So they need to be in a similar availability zone, because that's way we will not be able to make them apart. if my Windows first block of storage, first E drive or C drive is locating in another zone, and let's say my another D drive is locating in another zone, then it will not perform as a workstation. They will not act as a part of a one computer, even though I want to configure them to work as a part of one computer. So that's why when I am attaching the volume, what I need to make sure that both my instance and volume are present in the same availability zone. Okay, guys, over here we need to do some configuration in our Windows. So we will do it tomorrow. But let me show you over here that from this instance we are connected with the internet and we can access the internet also. It's working slow.
One question. Uh,
Yes.
can we connect this volume to multiple instances or just one?
If you want to attach the same volume, you can copy the volume and then attach it, and you can even copy it to the another availability zone. If you have another availability zone and you want to move the volume to there, then you can copy the volume and then just attach it to any instance you want. Okay, guys, you can see our internet is working. I'm able to access. It is asking me to create an account, so let's do it tomorrow. For now, let's recheck what we have done. Okay, so we have seen different volume types. We have configured Windows and then we have configured our Amazon. So what we have to do, we have attached a volume and it is not showing in our window PC. Why it's not showing? We will configure that tomorrow. Okay, guys? Okay, let's see another option, which is the option of AMI. AMI is Amazon Machine Images. So right now we don't have any machine images. So let's say I have these two instances and I have terminated this first one, but I want this one back. Can I have it? No, I cannot have it back because I have terminated it. But if I have created a AMI image of this particular instance, in case of in that case, I will be able to back it up. I will be able to restore it because I have an image with me. So tomorrow we will also look how we can create the images and the snapshots. So any doubt till now? We are we have seen what we have done till now. So
Is it
any of you have any doubt in that?
uh,
Hmm.
for that volume which is not showing up, right? Is it something
No,
that
it is
have to
attached. It
allocate?
is properly attached. It just need a 2-minute process. But I mean, I think that configuration will be become more hectic for you right now because we have to configure the volume and we just have to do the 2-3 simple step. That's it.
Where how are we checking whether it is? I'm sorry, I missed that. How are we checking whether it is attached or not? Just going to the my computer screen.
Yes, if okay, let me do it again. This is the window instance, right? We have attached the volume in it, and when I want to connect, I'm connecting with it. Okay, after accessing this window instance, you can see in our file manager, you can see that we only have one disk, one volume only. That is our root volume. Which is it? It is the 29 GB. And what we have in it? Nothing. We have the program
You need
files.
to, if you go to the computer management, right, you can check it will be showing there, I guess.
What?
If you go to the computer management,
Hmm. Yes, the disk we have attached, it is just offline. It's in its offline mode, only in its offline mode, and we just have to bring it online. Then it will be starts showing over here.
okay.
Okay, it's just lagging a lot. That's why I want to do it tomorrow. You can see it is lagging a lot.
Okay, got it.
Yes.
Is- Just,
Wall.
okay. Yeah, if you're done on this topic, I have another question.
Yes, yes. What is it?
So, question is like, is adding volume is the only option, or can we increase the size of the existing volume itself?
Yes, you can increase the size according to your need. You can modify the root volume itself. Once you do this within, you cannot increase it though. You can only increase it. You
Okay, so
cannot
even the root
decrease it.
volume can be increased, you're saying?
Yes, yes.
So you're saying only increase is an option, decrease is not an option.
No. And once you increase it, you cannot increase it again within the 6 hours. You have to wait for the 6 hours after the increase happen. Like you have 30 GB storage and you increase 5 GB more. So you have to wait for 6 hours if you want to increase more. After getting
Ah,
35, if you want to increase it more, make it 40, then you have to wait till 6 hours.
okay. Got it. It's on a region level restriction, or it's restricted by Amazon itself?
Okay, different region have their own restriction, but in the Amazon documentation, you will find each and everything mentioned there in the limit section. So any question regarding the policy and any question regarding the limits on the services, Amazon web page is the like Amazon website is the best source. You can check out what are the limitation in your region, because this in the end we are dealing in data, and data belongs to different people, different country, and it comes with the rules and regulation. If we are sharing some personal data, then a different region had their different regulation. So we do have to follow it. There are certain limits, and each and everything depend on in what region your Amazon server is, from where you're accessing the cloud.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you. So there are limitations as of now, at least. I didn't got your question. In what context you are asking, Manoj? Yes, there is there is limit. Like, how can you put a limit on latency? Latency just like can if you want to set up your instances, you can just check cloudping.com. Cloudping AWS. I am sure we have done this before also with the previous trainer. You can go onto this website and you can check in which area you are getting the lowest latency. Just drop a HTTP ping and you can see we will get minimum latency from Mumbai, being in India. Okay. In our AWS console, we cannot access Hyderabad location. Only Mumbai for India is showing, but you can use any location. So different location has the latency, different latencies, and storage depends on the region you are in and the service you are utilizing. So when we will be discussing the topic of storage, then I will be giving more light on it. I will share different type of storage and what are the different limits. But as for now, if I can recall it, we can only create 5 EC2 instances in our Mumbai region for now in our free tier account, and we can only run them up for 750 hours only. Is it clear now, Manoj? Or were you asking something else? Okay, guys, any other doubt?
So shutting down the instance will also take care of the volumes, right? Like we won't incur anything,
Hmm.
any fees for the volumes if we shut down
Okay,
the
if you
instance.
shut down the instance, it will not come in your bill cycle. Just in case, you are not checking, but you might leave a instance open and you will run up your all the free tier hours, and afterwards they will start charging. So the best practice says, if you are not using the instances on a regular basis, just terminate them. Okay, so if you want to put them on pause, and then it will not show up in your billing cycle. But what I do, I delete them. If you want to stop them and put them on pause, you can do that and reboot from there. So it won't create any hassle for you. It will not show in the billing cycle. But for not in cases if we don't pay any attention and then it's left in the running state, that it will cause a lot of problem. You might forgot about it and it will keep running in the background. 750 hours are allowed, and it's not for every instance, it's for all instances. If you are creating 10 instances, then all the time those 10 instances have run will be calculated, and if it's up to 700, no, only 700. You can only use instances for 700 hours. If you have created three instances and each three of them will not run 700 hours, combining each three of them will run 750 hours. Getting it?
And the volume will be part of the instance, right? Like if
Yes,
we
if you attach it, then it will be the part of your instance.
and once the instance is shut down, for example, for today, if
Mm-hmm.
we are wrapping up, we shut down the instance and the volume will automatically get unused, right? Volume
Yeah.
is going to be unused, and we won't incur any charges for that also, right?
No. You will not get any charges on the volume. It will not get used. And volume is just like a disk of storage. So it will not cause you any hamper. Okay. So now you guys were asking if we can increase the storage and if we can increase the root storage. You can see in this, this one is our root window. And before deleting it, let me show you. If we select this one and we select the action, there are many action we can perform in it. We can modify the volume, we can create snapshot, we can create snapshot. Okay, these with the modification, if you select this modification, you can see it is showing 330, and if you want to increase it, you can increase it, but you cannot decrease it. Okay,
Okay.
because this is the minimum you required. And if you are increasing it, let's say I have increased this to the 35, and now I have modified it. Now I have the root volume of 35. I cannot decrease the root volume from 35 to 30 again. Okay. I can increase it again to 40, but after 6 hours. But I will suggest you do not modify it because 30 is only eligible in free tires. If you exceed from 30, it will start charging.
So
Yeah. If
on
we detach a volume from like an instance, so the data and on that value will remain there, and we
Yes,
can
yes, you can
see the data again from attaching again in another instance, right?
you can deattach. You can see there's an option of deattaching volume. And as you can see, there is no option of attaching because this volume is already attached. Okay. But if we want to attach it, then what we can do, we can create a copy of this volume, then we can attach the copy. Okay.
So it will become two different volumes, no? Then
It will become what? Two different volumes. But
yeah, like means
this is
data will be different, no? Like I cannot have a shared volume on two different
okay. So whatever you have saved in that volume, that will be shared. Like any changes you have made in this volume, if you are asking about this shared storage, that you want some shared storage with different instances.
yeah, like I have attached it to Windows instance. Now again, I want to attach the same volume
Mhm.
so that I can see that into Linux also. Is it possible?
You can only make a copy of this volume and then attach it into the Linux. So every data that you have stored in volume 1 will be in the copy also.
But after that, after making the copy,
Mhm.
they will be not in sync. The data within that will not be in sync, right?
Okay, so you want that there's one volume that is attached to both of the instances, and any
Yeah, yeah.
changes you are making, it will get automatically update over there also.
Yes, yes.
No, this is just a way of storing data. This is volume. It will not provide you this kind of performance, but there are services uh, like according to we can create the grouping, and there are another ways to do that. So the best way is to create a volume like copy and attach it to there. But if you are using that on a daily basis, and you also want that whatever changes you are making on that volume also get deployed and attached with other instances, so all changes you are creating that will not get attached, because any change you are making in one volume, you have to make that change into the copy also. So this will not work like this, but there are other options. When we are carrying this course forward, we will see. Okay.
Okay, sure.
Okay. Other doubt, guys? Okay, if your physical hard drive fails, Amazon is creating replica. So if one drive fails, it will back it up with the another replica, which is present in the another availability zone. So it's well maintained. Yes, it is running on RAID. They make sure that any high latency or any device failure will not occur
will not cause you any damage. If you want to access your services, you will get the services on a good speed and on the availability. So if your physical hard drive fails in the server, like in the data center, the physical hard drive fails, what will happen? The another availability zone will cover you up. Okay. Travis, is it clear?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. You are not maintaining anything on hardware basic. On hardware basis, you are not maintaining anything. You are not doing any maintenance. You are just using the services. And if services are not up to the mark, then you can also complain, and you don't have to maintain anything on the hardware part. Only software part you're dealing on. Okay, guys, any other doubt? Okay, guys, Venkat is asking if like he's not able to hear me out properly. My voice is very uh, disturbed in his area. So is it same for everyone? Please let me know if it's a issue in some time. Okay. Guys, actually, I live in Gurgaon side area, and because of some government regulation, the internet issue is a lot. So I'm sorry for that, but whenever you are facing the breakage in the voice, you can just immediately let me know. Let me know that we didn't hear what you said. I will repeat it immediately to you. Okay. So Venkat, any like, do you want me to repeat any topic which you didn't understand, or like this today's class is, did you got few topics? Did you understood few topics, Venkat?
I think everything understood it.
Okay. So I'm okay, guys. So okay. Yes, you're welcome, Travis. And so I think everyone got their doubt resolved. So tomorrow I have already shared uh, stopping a instance is fine. It will not cause you any billing charge, but terminating is good.